Hey, everybody. Good to see you in here. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to be posting this on Twitter in just a moment. Going live on YouTube right now. There we go. Posting on YouTube. I'm also posting on Twitter. X is what it's called now, actually. And we're going to be talking tonight. If you're following the replay later on, we're going to be talking about why attachment issues make you feel shallow, why they make you focus on things that are shallow and superficial, and why it's really hard for you to focus on deeper things, open up and connect with people, and why you feel like you have to constantly be interesting all the time. When you have attachment issues, it feels like you only can be interesting, and being interesting keeps you safe. Being interesting makes people like you. Being interesting is the only thing you have to offer. So many people in the dating world right now are obsessed with being interesting all the time. And I will tell you that is not the way to find a good lifelong partner, is to be interesting, because all you're going to connect with is people who want to be stimulated all the time. It's not the answer. So tonight we're going to talk about why attachment issues cause you to crave to be interesting so that you can feel safe. Other than that, everybody drop your words in chat. Let me know what's going on. I would love to hear from you guys over there. Let me know. Um, is there? No, okay. I think there's a chat replay. I want to make sure I set that up for people. I don't know if that is. I can't even find it on here. Allow all comments. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Good to see you guys in here. Welcome, Son of Hester. Good to see you in here. Kat. Hi, Adam. Good to see you. How are you doing? Good to see everybody in here tonight. I know I'm pulling up some major controversy over on X right now. I've got all kinds of people firing off and kicking off at me over there, which is cool. I love that. I love the conversations. Good to see you guys in here. Has anybody in here, chat, let me know. Does anyone in here feel pressure to be interesting? Do you feel like other people only like you when you're interesting? Do you feel horrible when you feel boring? Do you feel like scared when you feel boring? Does it feel like being interesting is the only thing you have to offer other people? Let me know that. I would love to hear that. POV, saw the episode with you and Chris. Great stuff. Hey, POV, I'm glad. That was number 4. That was our 4th episode together. That was a good one. Good one. Caitlin, looking forward to the chat. It usually gets pretty spicy in here. Cat, kind of, sort of. Okay, Caitlin, all the time when I meet someone I like. Ooh. Okay, so tonight I am going to reveal for you exactly why you feel like you have to be interesting. It stems from the first couple of weeks of your life and then grows through childhood and becomes your fixed pattern in your life. I'm going to show you how to figure that out and fix it. I watched your interview with Chris and then purchased your audiobook the next day. It was fantastic. I appreciate the content. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hit me with any questions you have. Angelus, I'm here. Good to see you, bro. Very, very good to see you. You and I started off on YouTube together, what, a year ago? Something like that, Angelus? It's been a while. Been a ride, huh? Actually, absolutely. I feel like I'm letting things get stagnant. I have to walk around and try again. Yeah, be interesting, right? Does everybody in here feel like you have to stay interesting? Lots of people popping in. Jack, good to see you. So Hester not having anything to talk about, especially in a text-mediated relationship, makes me anxious. This person's moving on. Ooh, it's been a year. I know, Angelus. It has been a wild year, man, and I'm happy to still know you. I feel like we don't talk as much as we could, but it's good to still know you, bro. POV Master, I feel like more people come to me when I'm successful and winning. When I lose, I notice a drop off of people. Yes, that can be a specific factor. We'll talk about that too. According to one of my dad's hunting buddies, I have the same sense of humor as my papa. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Throwing my pen down. That was that noise. Here's the reason most of the people in here, and like 2/3 of Americans now, the research shows, feel like they have to be interesting to make other people like them and stay around them. When we are born, little babies, well, not that big, a little bit bigger. When we are born, within the first week or two, our eyesight develops just enough to see from mom's chest up to her face. And babies obsessively scan the human face and look to see if mom's looking at them, what mom's doing. Is she talking? Is she interacting with them? Is she connecting with them? Mom is supposed to be talking and laughing with the baby a lot of the time. Not every moment, but a lot of the time. Unless she's super depressed, super postpartum, right? If she's really anxious and looking around all the time and can't sit still, if she's fixated on her phone and won't look at the baby, even the baby's like talking, like poking, trying to get attention. If mom is not there, right? If mom is gone for some reason, and baby's in daycare, or mom is really gone or dead or anything, baby's been in NICU for the first 3-4 weeks of life, right? And that sterile container kind of thing. Baby's also supposed to be getting oxytocin bonding through the skin, through contact, through comfort. A lot of bonding happens, but a lot of the baby's mirroring neurons activate in their brain. And it says, someone's paying attention to me and I'm worthy of attention. If they're not, then they fight to get attention. They start trying, and little babies don't do very well at this. So we just kind of see them squirming and moving around. But what can also happen is baby can get punished for trying to talk, for trying to connect, for trying to engage. As baby learns to babble and make noises and faces and smile, mom is supposed to mirror them back. And the baby's brain says, oh, someone is connecting with me just because I didn't even do anything. I'm just doing normal stuff and people like to connect with me. Your brain learns I don't have to be interesting. I can do anything and people will talk to me and love me. Right? This is a stupid reason we clap for little kids when they fart or when they smile or when they poop, or we clap and we make them feel good for it. It's not what do they call it? Effort trophies or whatever it is. It's not endless effort trophies, effortlessness. It's not participation awards. There we go. It's not participation awards. It is teaching them that they don't have to be interesting. Dad is supposed to connect and do this too. Grandma, aunts, siblings who get in your face and look at you. As people start mimicking back to you, the baby learns I am interesting enough by myself. People want to connect with me. When people don't do this, when mom is too depressed, too sad, too anxious, dad won't look at the child. Dad is very critical of a child. Mom is very critical. Everybody's stressed out. Everyone's scared. Everyone's miserable. Everyone's too focused on other things. When the siblings are mad at you and hurting you and don't want to connect with you, if you're alone all the time, what the baby's brain learns is people don't want to connect with me. Either it's my fault because I'm deficient somehow, or something is wrong with them and they don't know how to connect with me, or they're stressed out so they won't connect. This is the brain, and it forms attachment issues, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and it starts trying to get attention because the baby's brain says, if nobody pays attention to me, my needs won't get met and I will die. So then the baby learns how to provoke responses from people, sometimes by being funny, being the class clown, right? Sometimes by acting out, being mean and angry, sometimes by being super approval seeking, super perfect all the time. Little kids who have perfectionism issues with schoolwork, a lot of times that tracks back into this. But kids learn I have to make attention happen by being stimulating, and that keeps me safe. And then we grow up from that and we learn, because we spend all those time with those people who just want to be stimulated, and we start stimulating and it gets us results. We think we can never stop. And we either blame ourselves for not being worthy of attention without the stimulus, or we think other people, something is wrong with them, that they only will care about us when we make them care about us. So this is how people get into like red pill stuff, man. Like I have to perform endless game and dread game and dance for her amusement and then control her and do this with fear and that. Like that's how guys fall into that pool. This is how women start sleeping with people on the first date, and they'll have 50 first dates in a year. And then you'll say, like, why are you doing this? Like, I don't like it, but I have to, or they won't find me interesting and they won't stay with me. They'll just find somebody else who's more interesting and sleeps with them on the first date. This is how that process usually goes. It's endlessly being stimulating and interesting all the time to stay safe and have people keep you around, because otherwise no one will love you. This translates with avoidant people right into business, right into business. I have these incredible skills. I can make people like me, and I can climb the ladder, and I'll have very few entanglements, no drama, nothing holding me back. And money makes me feel safe because it's something I can control. I don't have to rely on other people. So avoidant people can be really financially successful in business and all kinds of careers. Anxiously attached people are approval seeking. They think that they're going to be abandoned if they're ever discovered for being a fraud, being awful. So them being interesting and stimulating is acts of service to other people, being codependent. It is always avoiding the day that they are going to be found out for not being worthy of love. So they are endlessly stimulating, banking your goodwill so that maybe you will meet their needs someday, is what that usually is. So it's endless stimulation, and it feels horrible for someone who has secure attachment, because the person who comes in and says, I'm just loved for who I am, and other people want that, and that's what I want. You come in and you start overstimulating them. They hate it and we don't trust it. Now, here's something you need to know is the big five brain chemicals. Big five. Okay. Oxytocin, it forms in the absence of stress. When you have high cortisol, it blocks the production of oxytocin. But oxytocin is when you are calm and relaxed. You talk with other people, you laugh with them, you share moments with them. Maybe it's your partner, you hold hands, you kiss, you hug, you snuggle, take a good walk together. Oxytocin, it can be between friends, family, especially family. You're supposed to get a lot of it from mom. When you have high oxytocin, you also have high GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid. It's an inhibitory neurotransmitter that shuts down feelings of anxiety and depression. It stops those feelings. These two are literally your brain saying, I don't have to be scared or upset because people love me and will help me. So I'm okay. I can calm down. And GABA really helps release melatonin so you can sleep easier at night. So people who have broken attachment and broken relationships, and they're anxious all the time, it's usually those two pieces with the melatonin deficiency. And then you have vasopressin, the bonding hormone that activates in the presence of stress when you resolve problems together. People with attachment issues, I have to be interesting all the time. I can never talk about problems. I can never bring them up. I have to solve them alone. I can never get vasopressin because I can never solve problems with other people because that would be interesting. That will bother them. That will burden them. The last one here of the big four before dopamine is serotonin. Now, serotonin is a long term fulfillment, good mood, good bonding, health of the system. If dopamine, the last one, is an endless sugar binge, think of serotonin more like a heavy protein meal, a long-term fulfilling, long-term digesting meal that sustains your body in a healthier way. The dopamine is like an endless sugar binge. Now, when you have broken attachment, you think you have to be interesting all the time. The big four of the big five, you're very deficient on typically. You have dopamine left. Dopamine is the interest, stimulate, stimulate, stimulate. Think of the brain chemistry like this. If all you have is dopamine, 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 this is what people in bad relationships are constantly trying to do back and forth. This is why the sex drive falls off the cliff for women, especially at the end of 1 year, is because they're after a year, they're usually driven by oxytocin. Um, Avoidant people can sometimes use love bombing, and that can saturate with some oxytocin because it signifies that they are in love. So then the anxious person feels loved, and it creates an oxytocin addiction. But a lot of the stimulation is dopamine right here, constantly trying to stimulate people all the time with dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. So I'm gonna grab some questions really quick here. Great conversation with Chris Williamson, Jamie Henshaw recently. I love that. Thank you. Love that you're bringing a fresh perspective on relationships through attachment lens. I totally am. That's my job. That's what I want to do. I have 4 kids, fifth one on the way. We got to make the world better for them. I don't want them dealing with that. Cat, according to one of my dads, oh, we talked about that. Can I have a question on what would cause a man to want nothing to do with his ex baby mama and his kid with her? Usually they don't understand how good it feels to bond. They don't know how to solve problems together. They don't get these. Life is an endless dopamine drip. So they go around giving dopamine to other people. So, what is love? Love is a fulfillment of all of these together with somebody while deeply caring about the well being of the other person and doing what is right for them during a crisis or during a conflict. Do what is truly right for that person. Love is an action, it's not a feeling. Affection is a feeling. Love is an action. And this flows in a relationship that contains love. Is there five? And Tag, if you're very boring intro, wet, who doesn't make an intro, can you expect people to be too interested? Jeff, the problem is if you are really good at stimulating people with dopamine, or you're really avoidant and manipulative, and not all avoidant people are manipulative, I'll say that, but the more avoidant, the more manipulative variant, they saturate anxious people with feelings of oxytocin, which provokes that deep childhood wound of not being loved, and it creates an addiction process in the anxiously attached person. So they obsessively chase the avoidant person, and yes, you can overdo that way too much, way too much. Um, Isn't love an action? It is. I'm on the same page. This is good. Yeah, 100% meow. I love that. Yeah, love is action. It's how you act with other people, how you act upon them, how you act towards them, especially when a conflict hits. I hate the red pill. It saved my life. It's got me from point A to point B by so desperately trying to get points. Yeah, I was holding back. POV master, 100%. I do not hate men who are in the red pill. 100%. I don't. It does. A lot of guys come out of anxious attachment and they're trying to get approval seeking. They don't know how to live and they're almost suicidal. They hit red pill and it seems to offer some information on how to flip around and become avoidant. So you at least take control of the situation and you feel better temporarily, but then it starts holding you back because it's not based on being secure and connected. It is based on taking control of the situation and making the other person stimulate you instead of you stimulating them, hoping that they will keep you. That's the flip. I will force people to stimulate me, or I will abandon them, and that fear will keep them stimulating me. That's what that does. So totally with you. We need to create an alternate. I have an alternate idea coming. I just wrote an 11-page script for my YouTube not too long ago. I'm going to have to transcribe that all onto a really huge video that's going to teach you guys about an alternative. But yes, we need to create an alternative for men, because right now there is not much alternative for men out there, and they find the red pill. It's like the only thing they can find, and it feels like an incredible rescue. And I get why it's interesting. I do. His ex baby mama didn't let him be a dad. He isn't even in the kid's birth certificate. Katarina, I can understand. I don't know whether to call you Katarina or Meow Mix, but I can understand that. That is devastating. Child alienation from fathers is unbelievable and unbelievably common at the same time. So that is heartbreaking. At the same time, he chose a person who acts that way. I'm not blaming him. What I'm saying is that means that there are some deep instabilities in him at the same time, most likely. That's something he's going to have to definitely work on. 100% needs to work on that so that he can fill that gap in himself and not crave that approval, be insecure that way. And if that child does come around someday, he can have a better relationship with them. Cat is great. Awesome. Very good. Uh, Back to stimulation, you guys. So, of the big five brain chemicals, when you have broken attachment, you are usually living with dopamine. So, this is why people with broken attachment, they're usually sugar binging, they have addiction challenges, food challenges, motivation challenges. They're risk obsessed rather than opportunity focused. So, they don't usually chase opportunities, and they're not super happy about what they're trying to do. It's a lot harder for them to do that. But the only mechanism they know to get things to happen for them is to stimulate other people. So they often will struggle. Does anybody here have this problem where it feels like they can't make good relationships happen to them or for them? They have to wait around hoping that a good relationship will happen to them, which usually means finding someone who is interested enough to stimulate them and make them feel good, and then hope that they can make that relationship last. Does anybody here recognize the pattern I'm describing? Chat. Let me know. Say like I know that one, or something like that. Throw up the meme of Leonardo DiCaprio. I've seen this one before. Um, Let me know, chat, if you guys have experienced that. But that's usually cat. I've raised both hands. There you go. That right there. That is the dynamic of growing up, having to fight for attention and feeling like you are not going to ever be cared about. That sounds like my past marriages, and just that's it right there. That is this is the dynamic, you guys, that leads to divorce, because this is the dynamic that gets you into relationships with people that is nothing but stimulation and fear. This is the problem. So when women tell me like men are faithless, horrible people, you'll marry them and devote your whole life to them and they'll still betray you. Well, you probably picked a guy who doesn't have all the brain chemistry. He has broken attachment and it's just endless dopamine binging. And he just walked away because he didn't understand a deeper connection at all. You picked that guy. That's the problem. Learn to pick different people, usually by changing yourself and how you relate to other people. We will talk about the two different dating pools here in a minute. You need to hear this. Don't miss that one. But it's also when men complain about women, how horrible they are. Oh, they just want to be just constantly stimulated all the time. They'll leave me because they have another guy in their DMs. They are just totally horrible. They will cheat on me at a moment's notice. That, no, you picked women who endlessly want to be stimulated. And unfortunately, those women get in contact with the internet and they can get constant stimulation all the time if they are open to doing those things for stimulation. A lot of women are not. So it's not like every woman with attachment issues is on the internet prostituting herself. No, far, far from it. But this is why men and women complain about each other, is because of this broken attachment. Attachment is the answer. Attachment is the way we learn to connect to each other, to give and receive love. This is how it breaks. When I talk about attachment, it's this process right here. Join late, but hello, everybody. Good to see you, Christian. I'm sure I do that. Yep, got it. Yes, 100%, you guys. Okay, sounds like it's there. I was that way when I was young. I had that challenge myself up until I was about 21, 22. I fixed it. That's what started me on my path to become a therapist and then become an attachment specialist and coach and everything now. That's what started me on. It was living that way and then fixing it. And it was horrible. It was horrible fixing it alone. That's why I teach everybody else now how to fix it. I feel attacked. There you go, Jeff. The two different dating pools. So the people who grow up not craving stimulation, they get all the other brain chemistry. So spending time just together without super stimulation is fulfilling to them. They will look boring. They'll have deeper conversations. They can be more vulnerable. They share about challenges. They share solutions. They work on things together. But they can seem, when you are fixated on constant stimulation, they can seem boring. When you go on dates with these people, they will seem uninterested and boring to you because they're just asking basic questions because they don't want to bond too fast. They want to ease into the relationship and see if you're capable of working on a fulfilling relationship together or if you're just craving stimulation. So if you've ever gone on a date with a really great man or woman and you were like, why? They are so incredible. They're everything I want. Why are they so boring? It's because you are focused on endless stimulation. And that's the only way you know how to track interest in you is endless stimulation. And you feel like you are never, ever going to have a good relationship unless someone is endlessly stimulating you and receiving your stimulation in return so that you feel safe and they have a reason to keep you because you're stimulating them. There's two different dating pools, like I said. So there's the secure people over here who are talking and easing into relationships. They have goals. They have character in themselves. They live to their principles. They want stability. They want consistency. They want predictability in a good way. They want good character and they want people with missions so they can work with them and build a cool life and interesting things and chase opportunities. They see life as an opportunity and they chase it and they want other people to do that with that they can trust. That's the secure dating pool. If you stimulate them over and over and over, it feels weird. It feels jarring. It's really uncomfortable. And they wonder why you're doing it and what the bill is going to be when it comes for all that stimulation. So they'll pull away. They don't want that. The insecure dating pool is over here of people endlessly chasing, stimulation, stimulation, stimulation. I'm going to stimulate you. You're going to stimulate me. We're going to do this. And endlessly jumping in to serve the other person immediately within minutes of meeting them, flying people out, love bombing them, saturating them with compliments and overwhelming amounts of attention. All of that at the beginning of the relationship, and then moving hot and heavy into the relationship, and then no compatibility is really tested. It's all about feelings. Two different dating pools. They do not much interact at all. They don't even flag as interested for each other. And they almost can't. This is the problem. Fixing people, I sound like an idiot when I tell people learn to date securely, calmly, build better relationships. I have a whole video coming on my 3-date method, just a pure video on it. This is that works. But when people in the insecure dating period pool hear me say that, they say, you just want me to be alone because no one will ever love me. No, the idea is stop flagging for these people, but start attracting these people over here. That's the goal. Switch the dating pools, switch the friendship pools, switch your life over to here. That's the goal. And that's what we're talking about. Red Pill misses that because they don't believe this dating pool exists. They think this is the only dating pool that exists. This is the problem. We need to fix this dating pool and move people over into this dating pool, which you can only get into when you fix your attachment. You become more secure. I'm going to grab some questions over here in chat. Katarina, sarcasm is a sign of intelligence. Oh, well, I must be a genius. POV Master, I nearly took a bullet for my ex. I gotcha. Okay. Not to mention other sacrifices. I'm not perfect. I caused the relationship to fail. She did everything to destroy me. I'm afraid to date in America because of that. I feel very comfortable dating my first generation Americans. I hear you. I hear you. I don't have to date. I don't have to have my guard up. Women scare me. American women. 2/3 of American adults are over here in this pool. And that makes sense because a lot of these people are already married off. So that's dwindling. What you need to look for is people who either are secure or people who are becoming secure, switching to this. You need to date in the secure pool over here. I have a couple videos here on this channel for how to do that. If you need help one-on-one, let me know. If you want to talk deeper, let me know. Send me an email. But this is what you need to do, POV, is over here in this dating pool and start repelling the people in this dating pool. Dopamine's a hard drug to kick. It is, Jeff. Oxytocin's a harder drug to kick, to be honest with you. Tamar, hello, everyone. Good to see you. Ever dealt with a level 11 clinger before? Oh, yes. Yeah, Katarina, I do. They're usually the oxytocin addicted ones down here is usually what those are. That's harder. I'm steering clear of dating. Can't stop liking someone and can't move past them, especially as he's my only friend. We seem emotionally codependent. Now, oof, both broken in different ways. Beelzebub, have you looked at attachment? I think we've talked about this before. Have you looked at attachment? Because you guys could actually start fixing that together if you're still friends. That could be interesting. Charlie, how was your Labor Day? Did anything exciting? I worked. I wrote some scripts. I wrote some material. I had meetings. I coached clients. Played with my kids. That was fun. I love playing with my kids. It was a great day. I actually enjoyed my job, so it was a great day. I kept bugging him to upgrade me to a retractable leash. There you go, cat. There you go. Where's the link to join the group? I want to do the Tuesday and Saturday groups that you do. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for asking. I do have a private coaching group. Let me drop it right here if you're interested. There we go. Private coaching group. Adam, any advice for two people who dated years ago who find themselves reconnecting after two recent breakups, both looking for genuine connection, not a rebound? Great question, Hester. Um, how have you changed since we talked last? What is your mission in life? What are your core values, your core principles of who you are, and how are you living them every day? And how are you improving yourself continuously to be a person of character in that regard? And what do you want to do differently with me that you didn't understand how to do differently before? Those four questions you need to ask. I'm recording this. You can always go back and watch this again if you need those notes. And then sit down and have updates as you want to talk with them, like once a week. How are you feeling on our relationship? What adjustments can we make to be more comfortable together? Those are constant things that you need to do, Hester. If you take your relationship seriously that way, you can build a great relationship. I don't know if you'd want to try. There's hints of it sometimes. You can always ask. He talks like his life is done. Oof, not good. I do have some male depression videos actually on this channel. You might want to dig up. Um, just type male depression, Adam Lane Smith, male depression. You'll find a bunch of them, but that might actually be something he might really thrive from. And if not that, I have some videos with Chris Williamson, some episodes with him that he might actually enjoy listening to that talk about male depression. Hey, Adam, just bought the boot camp. Thank you, Nick. Is this something my partner and I watch together? It absolutely can be. If you guys want to work on your attachment together, that can oxytocin and vasopressin bond you together. It has sections in there on male and female sex drives, and you guys can compare notes on there as well, and what works for you and what doesn't. And yes, taking the camp together, I have had so many couples. Individuals take it by themselves too, but so many couples take it. And the bonding is incredible. So here's what you do, Nick. After every video, pause and say, what was one thing that stood out to you? And what's one thing you want to implement in our relationship? If you have that conversation after every video, there's 13 videos in there. Have that conversation after every video. You're going to get an incredible bonding experience out of it and fix your attachment. Thanks, Adam. I'm going to join. Awesome, PV. I would love to see you in there. Charlie, Adam, what would you say are the top five things a potential couple need to get on the same page about before committing to a long term relationship? I don't know if I can give you top five right now. I think I have a few lists like that on this channel. How to know if you're ready to get married, how to tell if he's the one, how to tell if she's the one. I have those videos here. I will say this, the absolute number one thing: can you cooperate as a team during conflict? If you guys have that, you have everything. Then it's just a matter of collecting skills so that you can use them. But it is impossible to make somebody cooperate during a conflict. That's the number one thing you must have in place. Absolutely, Charlie, more than anything else. Hey, Adam, good to see you. Calculus, good to see you. I saw your comment earlier. What are some challenges of parenthood people don't expect? How exhausted you are going to be, and how you forget that you are a couple unless you schedule couple time. Those are the things I recommend. Get those slotted in. Adam, I believe because of your expertise, you can help me help myself and understand what's going through my big fat head. I hope I can, Kat. Let me know how I can help. I'm doing 2 live sessions right now. Could not miss this. I hear you. I hear you. Cooperation during conflict is key. Well, everything else flows from it. Everything else flows from it. POV Master, what are your thoughts about exes getting back together after a terrible breakup, or at the very least, trying to be friendly? I see no purpose in it unless you have children together. I see absolutely no purpose in it, because if you broke up, it's likely because your values and principles don't align. If you could stay friends, you probably would stay together as a couple. Probably. I see no purpose in exes getting back together. And especially because of this, at some point, both of you will try to reconnect with a different partner. And now both of your partners have to be okay and trust the other person. Not trust you. They have to trust the other person. And it's really hard to trust your partner's ex. Really hard. That is just guaranteed heartache down the road for the most part. Almost the old good people are married off. Jack, it's getting slim. I'm not gonna lie to you. I totally thought you meant since we last talked. This makes more sense. There you go, Aster. Yeah, there you go. Metathorn Square. Hey, Adam, how might a woman with being a divorced mother affect her place in the dating pool today? Divorced mother. So, I mean, a lot of guys are not looking for a pre-made family. A lot of guys are not looking for drama with a crazy dude and a crazy like dad kind of thing. And then again, there are plenty of guys who will, who don't mind mixed families, blended families. So probably you are going to pair best with a man who already has children, if that's what you're going for. That's probably the people who will really pair well with you because they will have the same concerns that you have. So most likely, that's why blended families happen. Okay, thanks. He's had an awful lot of tragedy in his life, so I think he's separated himself somewhat. Very common, Beelzebub. It's nice to catch you live. It's almost 2 a.m. here. Please go to sleep. Totally go to sleep if you need to, but I premenstrual and overthinking. Totally with you. I have a ton of videos on here. Watch them with him if you wish, or dig up one of my episodes with me and Chris Williamson. We go deep into male depression, male suffering, male struggle. He's big about that. I like that about him. Check out those videos on his channel. They are awesome, and you can just listen to them together as a podcast. You'll enjoy them. That would be a cool thing for you guys to listen to. Say, hey, can we do this? It's an hour and a half or something like that. It's like watching a movie. Pull out some pizza or some popcorn or something. Sit and listen to it together. Watch it on YouTube. You guys will have a good time. And he probably will learn. That's a lot of people contact me. They're like, my husband watched your thing and he actually has hope for the first time ever. Check that out. Cat Nick, one thing that stood out to you and one thing to work on. Right there, you go. You nailed it. That's it, Nick. One thing to work on. One thing you want to apply in your relationship. What's one thing that stood out to you, and what's one thing you want to apply in our relationship? Do it that way. Red pills answer for conflict. The females submit and bring in peace. Yeah, it's about fear and control. I will control you, so you have to stimulate me, and I don't have to stimulate you anymore because I hate doing that for people. I have ex baby mama hates me. Being told I stole him from 2 people in the same week was insane. Boy, interesting. Thank you so much for your work. I saw your interview with Chris Williamson, and now I have your audiobook. Thank you, Erica, for being here. I'm glad. Was it my recent episode? Because there's 4 episodes that we've done together, and you can see my background getting better and better in each one. My beard is getting better. Everything's getting better as we go. Thanks, Adam. I'm actually a guy who keeps meeting single divorced moms. Oh, interesting. There we go. You're a guy who keeps meeting single divorced moms. Well, there are certainly a lot of them out there. How do you feel about blended families? Are you open for that? I'm here because of the Chris Williamson show. Yeah, isn't he awesome, you guys? He is ridiculously jacked. It is awesome. His forehead is like getting more jacked as he goes on. It's incredible. You can see the muscles in his forehead now. His forehead has biceps. It's really cool to see that. No, he's a great person. He's a very interesting guy. Divorced single moms would face a higher hurdle to clear for most men. Typically, good women will likely have paired with a good man and stayed married. Maybe. Um, so I have a book called Exhausted Wives, Bewildered Husbands up here on my shelf. It's what I wrote about women who get into relationships with severely avoidant and or manipulative men. And he just tears her apart for 10, 15 years, and she ends up protecting the kids from him. But he becomes emotionally abusive over the time. Then when she files for divorce, he claims that she blindsided him and takes to the internet to share all the stories about how he was unfairly treated. All kinds of stuff happens. So yes, secure people, you're right, Oliver. Secure people tend to connect with secure people. But I wouldn't say a good woman. I wouldn't say it that way if it was me. But that's me. Selena, totally agree with your keep dating guidance. It makes all the difference, especially when kids come along. Oh, 100%. 100%. I've watched them. There you go. Jacked forehead might have to be my new nickname for Chris. I told him when I first started talking to him, I have a hard time differentiating his accent from Australian accent. So I thought he was Australian. And my wife told me he's British. I was like, no, he's like too jacked and masculine to be British. And she laughed and laughed and laughed. So I know there's plenty of jacked masculine dudes in the UK. I just associate that more. America, right? Crocodile Dundee. I grew up with those movies. Like, that's not a knife. This is a knife. So I don't know. He's too jacked for me to be British. I think he has to be calm Australian just for my sake. Cat, the bromance with this friend that I call this boyfriend. It's really super precious. This boyfriend is like stole me from him. Interesting. I had the same problem when I traveled around Europe. There you go, Andrew. It's not just me. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad. POV, Adam, if you want muscles, I can help you. If you're ever in New York, let me know. I'll give you free personal training sessions. Thank you, man. I have to thank you for your helpful content. You're restoring my faith in humanity. I appreciate that, man. If I'm ever there, I will lift some iron with you. I just hired my first ever personal trainer here. I'm getting myself into better shape. Took some really bad nutrition advice from somebody and ended up gaining weight over the last couple of months. Bringing it back down and time to take it serious. We're all on our journey. So I appreciate you, man. If I'm ever there, you can show me how to lift iron with you. I'll appreciate that. Thank you. British men, I think of clothing and grooming. Unfortunately, a lot of people do. There's a lot of good men in the UK. There's a lot of good men, but Adam, you're jacked on many levels. Thank you, Tamara. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm here for about 10 more minutes. What questions do you guys have for me about relationships, attachment? Start throwing some stuff out at me. I get mistaken for an Australian occasionally. Oh, there you go. Which one of the books is the best to start with, Selena? Selena, are you wanting to fix insecurities in yourself and get better at relationships? Or are you in a miserable marriage where you feel trapped and unhappy? Which one is it for you, Selena? Because I have different options. I'd recommend Stay Off My Operating Table. Oh, Philip Avadia, that's an incredible book, Oliver. I'm glad you know about that book. That's an incredible book. I love the advice in there. I need to start taking it more seriously. I follow it about half the time. I need to follow it 100% of the time. That is a fantastic dieting book. I love that. It's not even a dieting book. It's a sustainable eating book. It's coming from someone that went from 320 to 240. My secret was not eating microwave food. No, yeah, I feel that. I definitely feel that. Do you think there's a particular culture that has the healthiest dating ideology? Good question. I know that many dating coaches will say India, and then people from India will like, "Are you kidding me?" And they'll list all the problems. So, no, I'm not going to be one of those people that idealizes India. What I will say is this: I think that the greater the percentage of population that has secure attachment in a society, the healthier the dating system is because they take it more seriously and there's more pressure to date intelligently and for purpose rather than here in America, the endless dopamine binge that is the dating pool. I don't know that there's one specific, but I'm a pro MMA fight dude. No. POV. I want to watch you now. Where can I watch you? My son and I we watch fights like that on MMA all the time. I would love to watch you beat the crap out of somebody. And I mean that in a good way. On the book question, happily married, 2 kids, want to be even better for my hero. I reckon I'm anxious attached. Ooh, okay. Right up here above my head, Slaying Your Fear. If you read Slaying Your Fear, it's available on Amazon. Slaying Your Fear. Selena is the one I greatly recommend. Not only will it show you how to fix any anxious attachment in you, it will show you how to build very secure attachment for you and your kids and as a family. So that'll do it. It lays out the whole plan. Me and the girl I'm seeing are on the fence about kids and not very inclined to start a business. What do you think are other big life goals that a couple may strive for? Ooh, Charlie, what do you guys want to achieve? What is something that one of you wants to achieve, the other one could help you in? Do you want to become the best violinist ever? Do you want to open a nonprofit for somebody? Do you want to adopt a child? Do you want to mentor somewhere? Do you want to learn really good skills? Do you want to change the world in some capacity? Do you want to start a brand together? It doesn't have to be a business. What about a brand? Um, what is your impact on the world, Charlie, that you're wanting to create? And if you don't mind my asking, how old are you? Because the perspective changes a little bit from like 18 to like 35. So off by Slaying Your Fear. Thank you, Selena. I appreciate you. I think I saw that on Audible. Yep, indeed. Maksha, I had 3 million questions, but now I'm blank. Testing anxiety happens all the time. I'll see if I can't ask them next week. Here, I will do this. Support at adamlanesmith.com. If you guys have a question, shoot it to me in email. I don't know how that there's spaces in there now. I don't know how that works, but shoot it to me in email. If you guys have questions, I'll try to answer it. If it's something much deeper, I'll point you at a book or a resource or a video. If it's like Adam, I need help, I'll offer you like my community or some coaching or a course. It's not gonna be like, all right, pay me money. No, like let's talk. Let's talk about what you need and we'll figure it out. Okay. If you guys have questions, shoot me a question. Love to hear from you guys. Casey, good to see you. Adam, I just started my doctorate in clinical psychology program yesterday. I'm curious about if you have any tips on how to balance work, school, duty. Oh, so I remember my wife and we got married as I was in no, not graduate school, pre-graduate. I was full time at one university and part time at the other. So I was doing 18 units. Plus, I was working. Plus, she was going 12 units at one school and working two jobs. So we both had like three jobs going basically. And we got married and we managed to survive. So the way we did it was build specific date nights that were not like, hey, let's figure it out each week. It was, this is our night, this is our time, maximize the time, have food bought in advance for a romantic dinner, focus into that quality time and have specific scheduled date time every single week repeating, that you protect. That was number one. Protect your good time by scheduling it. Charlie, we do care a lot about compassion and mental health. We both work with kids. There you go. She's therapy. I do teaching. We get something in my fields. 22. Oh, okay, 25 and 22. We're both about to finish education, start in the field. You guys are a little young to still be thinking about legacy seriously right now. Not that you can't. I mean, you can, and that's awesome. But what you guys could focus on is what you want to do to deepen that impact. She's doing therapy. You're doing teaching. That is a lot of impact already, which is great. So think about how you can achieve those impacts better together as a couple. That's what I recommend. Very dad-like. I kind of need that as mine is gone. You'll definitely be hearing from me. I think you're a great man. Well, thank you, Kat. I try. I try to be. That's all we can do. Been working on attachment. Christian, I've come across women with children, not opposed to blended families, but do have friends afraid to do that doing a red pill. Yes. Well, and it's hard. Not every person is cut out to be a step parent, guys. I'm not one of these like, you must do it. No, like not every person has it in them to be a good step parent. It is a very specific thing. And you have to have a heart for it. And some people don't. And that is okay. You're not a bad person if you don't. But yes, not doing it out of fear because a single mom is a disgusting slut. No, 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 no. I know that's what the red pill claims, but not every single mom is a horrible gold digger who's going to harvest your kidneys while you're sleeping. I'll just say it that way. David, seems like there's a common trend with women divorcing their husbands after 15, 20 years, then going and being promiscuous. Is that related to attachment stuff? David, check out Exhausted Wives, Bewildered Husbands right here. It's on Amazon. It's 100 pages. Check that book out. That right there is why that happens. So I was a licensed marriage and family therapist for many, many years before I retired to do attachment and coaching. That's the book I produced right there. I actually wrote that before Slaying Your Fear. That was my answer to Robert Glover's book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. That was my follow-up to his book of let's do one for couples and let's talk about the number one reason I see divorces happen at 15 to 20 years. That book right there would hit. Oliver, it must be difficult with the crazy ex you must deal with. No, that 100%. 100%, especially in today's day and age where it's just endless psychodrama sometimes with the exes. And that is a big piece of it. You have to be willing to settle into like really high stress periods at times and have that ex circling around and that constant, that 100%, Oliver, 100%. Hey, when is cougar status? I say 40. No, cougar's like 40. Saber tooth is like 80. Think of it that way. That's certainly a load off my shoulders. Thank you. 100%, Charlie. Go as you can. Go as you can. Talk about it. Feels about probably feel mentally healthy for the first time at 41. Now I'm a bit lonely and unsure how to meet new people at this age. I'm scared. I'm just happy in my own company. Thoughts. Um, Check out on my channel, because above, if you type Adam Lane Smith, type these words, Adam Lane Smith, why it feels scary to bond with people after a difficult childhood. It's like, I don't know, one of the first 10 videos on my channel. If you cycle all the way back, there's like 400. It talks about why it's difficult to bond with people after a difficult childhood, why it's scary. And then on my channel, I have how to find new friends, how to make friends, how to be a great friend. I have all of those things all over this channel because it's not just you alone. It's not just you alone at all. Kat, his baby mama wouldn't let me drop off Christmas presents for her two kids. Birthday just passed. It's crazy. It's crazy. Does it make a difference to men if my son is grown out of the house? Big difference. A big difference to have grown children. Perhaps I should specify that on my dating profile. You don't even really have to specify that you have kids at that point if he's grown and out of the house. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. If you have adult kids who are out of the house, you don't really have to specify that on your dating profile. If you specify I'm a mom with kids, they assume that you have like a 2 month old who will vomit directly on them every single day. So, Selena, hit the like, people. More folks need to hear this good stuff. Thank you, Selena. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys would hit the like button, that really helps. I appreciate you. Thank you. Adjusting is hard, very, very hard. There should be 41 likes. Come on, folks. Thank you. I appreciate you. DR, how many dates would you wait to jump into questions about attachment style? Ooh, is there a question to ask up front to weed out people who haven't seriously worked on themselves? So, asking about clinical attachment stuff like that, I don't recommend. You can. I recommend using the language around it by date 2 and date 3, talking about the work you've done on improving yourself and asking them how they're doing. So I have the 3 date method. I have a video coming on this, you guys, about the 3 date method, about how to filter people in the first 3 dates to see if they're commitment material or not, and how to make them run screaming from the table if they're not. By date 3, you can open up about your challenges, but you do it in a specific way. Hey, let me tell you, we're talking about this, we're dating, you're cool. Let me tell you about me. Here are some things that you should know about me, that I used to do this, this, and this. I used to be insecure. I used to struggle with these things. I overthink a lot. I do not do those things anymore, or I only do them occasionally because I've done so much work on myself. If you ever see me do those things, here's what this means, and just tell me. I will fix it. It's my job, and I'll take care of it. What about you? What issues have you what challenges have you overcome in your life? And what should I know about you? What this does is take your red flag, be honest about it, and turn it into a green flag, because then it opens up the other person to be able to talk to you in honesty about it as well. So that's the process. That is date number 3. How you get to that is date number 1 and 2, and I will cover that in my video that I'm actually probably recording tomorrow, to be honest with you. We'll get you guys there. Um, I think I have some more information on that. If you go back on my channel on one of my lives, I think I have like my dating process on the lives. I think I have like the first 3 dates. I have some of these recorded here on this channel that you can already watch. I've got like 400 videos on here, you guys. So there's a lot of material floating. It is what it is. Speaking of, I am gonna go for the night. I'm gonna go spend some time with my wonderful, wonderful wife. I'm gonna go sit with her. I plan to stream again tomorrow night, same time slot, 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Same time slot we're just finishing. It's 8 p.m. for me. Tomorrow night, same time, guys. Same time that I went live tonight. So 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Come back tomorrow. I'd love to talk with you guys. I see a lot more questions popping in. Save those questions. Hit me with them tomorrow night. I would love to see you guys there. Please come back, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Good night.